Hello, I'm Greg Miller with Church Army USA, and we're talking today about the importance of prayer as it relates to ministering to people on the margins. Prayer is essential because you're dealing with a lot of spiritual warfare. I was a pastor for 25 years before beginning to minister with those on the margins, and the spiritual warfare I faced was almost negligible. But once I started working on the margins, you get spiritual warfare on a regular basis. And the reasons for that are several. You're dealing with people that have been trapped by Satan perhaps for decades into lifestyles of addiction, not having a place to live, poverty, they're without hope, and it's difficult to love and to serve them in a way that will see them come out of that in a quick or short period of time. Ministering on the margins takes patience, and it takes a lot of grace, and that is obtained when you turn to the Lord in prayer. There was a man that was working on a house next door to us. He was suffering from a DUI. He had his license removed, and so he was not able to drive. And so he couldn't leave the house that he was working in to go get food. And he began coming over and asking us if we had any extra food at our house, which we did, and we started actually making food for him on a regular basis. We got to know each other. We talked about Christ. I invited him to church. He didn't come, but we continued to get a better relationship, and he has actually done work now for Church Army. Last week, he called me and said, "Greg, I need your help," which was somewhat unusual. So I said, "What do you need?" He goes, "My dad is 93. He fell. He's got a brain bleed. He's been in the emergency room. The bleed is not stopping." He said, "I know the Lord's Prayer, but I want you to pray with me." And so we prayed together, the Lord's Prayer together, and then also I prayed for healing for his dad. And then after we hung up, I was praying even more diligently that the Lord would in fact heal him so that he could see the power of God. He called the next day and said that the brain bleed had stopped, his dad was better, and he thanked me profusely for that prayer. This man is on a walk of moving closer and closer to Christ, but it's been 2 years since I've known him, and it's taken that long to get there. Another man we know has been suffering from addiction, and he comes to our house for showers, to do laundry, to get food, and he's been wrestling with addiction for over a decade. Just recently, he's beginning to make some progress in that battle, and it's really a result of prayer, because I can't break him of those patterns. Only the Holy Spirit can. The Apostle Paul, when we're talking about spiritual warfare, reminds us to put on the whole armor of God and to then kind of bind it together with prayer. Prayer is essential. Prayer is what enables you to see what's impossible from a human perspective to be done by God, who has the power and by his Holy Spirit to do these things. So pray without ceasing, and you'll see amazing things happen by the power of God.